Several cities across Mexico have turned into a war zone. Tijuana has become one of the main battlefields. Shootouts, kidnappings, and bodies lying on the sides of the road have all become common. On the front lines of the war on drugs, Mexico's military, federal police, and journalists.
Because we're on the front line of this so-called war on drugs or war against the drug cartels. And as a journalist, it's just something that you have to cover.
Vicente Calderon runs TijuanaPress.com. He's been covering the streets of Tijuana for more than a decade.
Well, the worst is just the continuous killing that is getting worse and worse every year. You thought that you've seen it all, but then these guys come with new ways of killing people. They dissolve their bodies in acid, they decapitated their victims, they kill children.
This day, Calderon and his cameraman cover a successful ending to a kidnapping. The victim was found in this neighborhood after military forces received an anonymous tip. But it's not always easy for Calderon to get information on cases like these.
Things are getting more difficult for us. It's more difficult because nobody wants to give you a soundbite. Nobody wants to give you an interview because they are afraid of retaliation.
In Mexico's drug war, information is considered an enemy. And that's why being a journalist in Mexico is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. According to the group Reporters Without Borders, since 2000, more than 30 journalists have been killed for covering organized crime. The risk of running a story is always high, so why do it?
We do this because we like to expose things. And we like to defend the rights of the citizens of democracy. It sounds kind of naive in a situation like this, but if we don't do this, who else will do it?
And with the new war on drugs, Calderon says new dangers are always surfacing, like the military abusing its power. Across town, a former police officer files a complaint against military officials, accusing them of entering his home and torturing him. Calderon says it's stories like these that some journalists are always wary of exposing.
The participation of the military on this war on drugs was necessary due to the level of corruption of the police agencies. But in the meantime, they are, again, abusing many of the rights of the citizens.
He can only hope that his work will help improve the way authorities work.
But I think we are seeing good, small steps ahead, even when we have a long way to go.
Meantime, in San Luis, Mexico, they too know how dangerous it is for a journalist to go after drug traffickers. The morning of January 15, 1997, Benjamin Flores was walking into work when he was ambushed right here in this driveway, shot several times with an AK-47. And until today, nobody has been charged with his murder. Arturo Santana Felix works for La Prensa in San Luis. He says as a young boy, he looked up to Benjamin Flores.
He was always very imposing with the cigarette in his mouth, hard at work, talking about the narcos. I would say to myself, that man is cool. I want to be like him someday, or at least work here. Felix
started working for La Prensa in April of 2006. He covers the crime beat and has come face to face with big-time criminals.
I take a lot of pictures of narcos. I don't consider them very powerful. They sell drugs for the bigger guys. I do fear when they're released, they'll see me, my name, and call the paper to get information. Someone here could easily give them my information.
But nothing is going to stop him from doing his job.
It's happened that we've had threats. It's a horrible feeling. But what do you do?
What gives Felix peace of mind is knowing who he can trust.
I feel a lot more safe knowing where I can go and where I can't. I work closely with the police officers and I trust them.